I'm busy. Yep, so busy. But when you drill down into, okay, what does that busyness look like? A lot of that busyness is coming from existing projects that are just taking too much time and not profitable. And so they're stressing out and there's no attention on their pipeline. So they're just waiting for what trickles in.
A lot of builders that we talk to have a sales pipeline that is all over the place with a different process for every prospect. And really what they want is a predictable pipeline that they can easily refer to and feel at ease. In this podcast, Corne and JP talks about 5 simple things that building companies need to have in place to build trust and get their pipeline back in order.
Most of the builders we chat to, they're struggling with bad quality projects, not really profitable at all. And that's because they're relying on 1 or 2 people in their pipeline.
Yeah. And then when you ask them, like, how are things going? The automatic answer is, yeah, we're so busy. Yep. So much so we can't even breathe.
Yeah, that's a big one. I'm busy. Yep, so busy. But when you drill down into, okay, what does that busyness look like? A lot of that busyness is coming from existing projects that are just taking too much time and
not profitable.
And so they're stressing out and bad clients,
delays, supplies,
all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's often what's causing them to be so busy.
Yeah.
And there's no attention on their pipeline.
Yeah.
And so they're just waiting for what trickles in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I read a book over the Christmas holidays by Dan Sullivan, and he explained in that book that you are in charge of the goals that you basically put down. Yeah. So you may as well go big. And what that translated to me in this context is, if you have bad projects or bad clients, make it your goal to have the opposite, have good projects and good clients, profitable ones.
Well, how should builders overcome the problem of bad quality clients and projects?
Yeah, I guess that's the whole topic of this podcast. But in short, they need to expand their pipeline.
Okay.
And they need to get more volume into their pipeline. Okay. I think it's a common misconception that you only want inquiries that is good. And I think we'll break that down in this podcast. But obviously you talk to a lot of builders, so how do they think, or what are they actively doing to overcome this problem of bad quality projects, clients that ultimately leads to non-profitable projects?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, unfortunately and sadly, a lot of them have this false belief that if they just do top quality work, that quality of work will speak for itself. And I've talked to a few builders about this, especially that frame of mind comes from a lot of the guys that have come from a trade base, because that's how they've been judged in the past.
Yeah.
The high quality, great work, awesome, move up, move on.
Yeah.
But when you're a builder, then that level of quality that you're wanting to put into those projects, your clients aren't going to see. And that's not what means most to them.
Yeah.
Sure, they want great quality. That's a given.
Yeah. And I think most builders out there, like majority, they build quality.
Yeah, that's it. But so many builders think that if I just do a great quality project, then this client's going to be a raving fan and they're going to go and shout it from the rooftop and all their neighbours will want to build with me. And so they think that purely by doing great work, quality of the project, that's going to bring me in more work, word of mouth, referrals, great. And I have a line out the door.
Yeah, and that's a tough strategy to depend on because, look, it doesn't matter how good of a builder you are in terms of quality and how much you want to do good by that client, it's building. Yeah. Like things go wrong. So you just don't know how the client is perceiving that thing. So you have no control whatsoever. When that project is done, you don't know what that client's going to say. Yeah. So it's a tough one to rely on.
Big one.
Yeah.
I feel like that could be a whole other topic for another day.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think...
But I think we spoke about this not too long ago, and especially the builders that have been builders for quite a while, or they're like second or third generation builders and they came in. Yeah. Back in the day, the internet wasn't around, connection wasn't around. Yeah. Then you're literally relying on referrals, and then if you had some budget on marketing, you'll go Yellow Pages, but that's it. Now, I believe the internet has opened up the world so much that if someone wants to build or renovate or whatever, they have 300 choices compared to
Easy.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone talks about the old, shake of the hand at the pub. Someone will just give you a referral or from someone's neighbour or friend, and then you pretty much win the job. probably because they didn't know any other builders.
Yeah.
You know, and they would just take the word for it and go from there.
Yeah.
Whereas, like you said, these days with internet and that exposure that other people, you can create, you know, far more exposure. That's what you want.
Yeah.
And awareness. So a lot of the bigger builders that have a greater presence, that's what's getting into the minds of, you know, the neighbor of the person you're building with. And that might be who they then go and talk to.
Yeah. And it doesn't really matter what your opinion is on this as a builder. Like, you could see the whole internet thing as like a really bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it is for those that don't take action on evolving.
Yeah.
But it's the biggest opportunity as well, because if you have the right tools and the right people around you, that could set you apart.
Big time. I think we often tell our builders, as a person, get off Facebook.
Yeah.
It sucks you.
Use it, but don't use
it. Abuse it, but don't use it. Leverage it is really what we're saying. As a business, leverage it. Yeah. Okay, Corne, so you're saying builders should be expanding on their pipeline and get more volume through. Can you just expand on that a bit more for the viewers?
Absolutely. And I mean, we'll go into like 5 steps, but just before I go into that, I think the disclaimer I want to put up here is that I think a lot of builders sweep all of this under the rug, like the 5 steps we're going to go through now, because they think it's such a huge undertaking and it's going to cost so much money and use up all their time. Yeah. And maybe they've done like some marketing before, but it was very disjointed. Yeah. So now they're like, they don't really know what to like believe in and trust. And again, they've got a lot of different things they're thinking about in their business. Yeah. But you cannot ignore this. You cannot deny it. You have to have these things in place. Yeah. And I guess the good news that I want to give here and is, you know, if you have the right knowledge, and the 5 steps that I'll talk about now will give you some knowledge there, and the right people to help you execute on this, it's easy.
Yeah. I think for some of the guys, before you jump into that, one thing that I do hear a lot, a false belief that I hear a lot from builders is they don't want to market or don't want to be too loud out there. They kind of just want to maybe do a little bit of organic here and there.
Yeah. It's like they're scared of getting their business out there, being known. Yeah. Which is funny because if your business is not known, then yeah.
But I think sometimes it might have a bad connotation to that one person that they know of that, you know, put themselves out there and whatever happened, or they're that kind of person, and I don't want to be associated with that, and so they just never get out from under the rock that they're under.
Yeah, exactly.
Why don't you take us through the 5 steps?
Yeah. So step number 1 is that, you know, builders need some sort of CRM system, some sort of tool. And really it's there to be able to track your cold leads, your warm leads, and really track where prospect is in that entire sales process. Now, just on a little side note here, a lot of builders think that cold leads equal bad leads straight away. And that is true to some extent, but that is where the opportunity lies. If you can acknowledge that, look, cold leads are not bad leads, they're just uneducated leads, and I'll talk to you about that like in step 2. But really, this whole system, the CRM tool that you need, it needs to be highly visual and easy to understand.
Why is that?
Well, so that you can, you know, check on it at any point in time and see what your pipeline looks like.
Okay. I get a quick snapshot of what's going on.
And to drive this point home, like obviously when we talk to our clients about this, and I ask the question, what do you use as a CRM tool? This is a response they normally give.
Yeah.
First one is, it's right here. It's in my head. Okay. For those that are not watching this podcast, I'm pointing to my head. Then the next one is, it's on my whiteboard. Yeah. Yeah. Which is fine. I think that's great because it's out there. But really, we're living in an internet world, and again, it'll lead into step 2, 3, and 4 in a sec. Yeah.
I think with this that which you've explained to me, I think a perception that a lot of builders have is, and the reason why they use the whiteboards is because, you know, name goes up there when it looks promising. I've had a few conversations. Maybe I've started the design process. Yeah, that'd probably be very common.
So they kind of count that as a lead.
Yeah. Once I start the design process. Yeah. You know, and some builders don't even charge for that.
So you're saying some builders see the inquiries that are ready to build. That is the very first step in their sales pipeline. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Which then that's great. If most builders think that way, and if you're a builder that go, no, actually it starts before I even know about this person, before that person even knows about me, then that's the opportunity.
Yeah.
Because then you can capture them. But I'll go into more detail in a sec.
Awesome. Yeah.
But I guess that leads me to like step number 2. This, so you've got the tool, you've got the pipeline, you can visually see it. The next thing is the system needs to automatically reach out to these prospective clients.
Okay.
And it needs to educate them, not just for a couple of weeks, but a couple of years. Again, most builders will say, I've got like this cold lead that came in. It's a bad quality lead.
Yeah.
I'm going to ignore it.
That's classic.
Yeah. And again, this is where the opportunity lies. If you have something like this in place and you're starting to think long term, I'm not saying discount the people that are ready to build now. Yes, go look after them.
Yeah.
But don't discount the cold leads.
Yeah.
See if there's a way for you to educate them along the way over the years. Because before you know it, it'll be 5 years later, and then you're like, where's my pipeline?
Yeah.
It's all the people that you've been educating for the last 5 years.
Yeah. I think that's one that I often explain to a lot of builders, and they do understand it, but then you kind of got to marry that up with, okay, well, that's the big picture here. And that is, 99.9% of the market is not ready to build today.
Yeah.
And so, you want to have a system in place to handle people that are ready to go today. Great.
Yeah.
But what about the other 99?
Exactly.
That's your pipeline.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to be able to control.
Yeah. And I guess that leads me to like step 3, which is, but like we spoke about this before, builders need to get their company known.
Yeah.
And they have to start thinking in terms of like 10x.
Yeah.
Like if you think your company needs to be known by 100 people, you need to 10x that to no, it's got to be known by 1,000 people. But I'd probably go even further. It needs to be known by 10,000. It needs to be known by everyone in your region.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of builders out there. People just need to know about your business.
Yeah. I think that touches on what we discussed at the very beginning of this conversation. When builders are struggling, it's often because they have 1 or 2 projects.
Yeah.
And, if you're trying to win the project from the wrong foot, based on price or just trying to keep your team busy, that can set a lot of bad things in motion.
Yeah.
That's a whole other topic of discussion.
Yeah.
Compared to when you are very well known by everyone.
Yeah.
And then it's like anyone who wants to build is thinking about you. You can have way more conversations, which then gives you choice.
Yeah, 100%. And you really want to think about getting as many people as possible into your system, especially in your location. So really think 10x, 100x the amount of people captured into that system. Yeah. But then you need to set up the system in a way so that you can qualify and disqualify really quick. And the first way you do that is to get the prospective clients to qualify, disqualify themselves. Okay, and there's things you can put in place for that. Things like a questionnaire. I suggest this to every builder out there, and also through your educational content, making sure people know what
it looks like to work with you.
Yeah. Basically. So that's them disqualifying or qualifying themselves. And then number 2 is you need to, again, have this questionnaire in place so that when you do have someone that's ready to build, you can quickly qualify or disqualify them.
I think a big thing there, a lot of builders who I talk to will have a questionnaire in place already maybe.
Yeah.
But the questions there I feel don't allow them to accurately qualify them.
Yeah.
It just looks like, yep, this person wants to build.
Yeah. And you have to use that questionnaire as like a psychological kind of like way to educate the person along the way as well, and to get them clear in their mind of what they want, because most people don't know what they want. So if your questionnaire is set out in such a way to educate them, then that'll be good. But we're going to have a podcast just on qualifying pretty soon. Yeah. So, I mean, at this stage, you have a sales pipeline, you've got a CRM, you can track where your prospective clients are. The system is also now nurturing your prospective clients by sending them valuable educational emails on a regular basis, 2 weeks, every month, whatever that looks like. Yeah. And then, number 3 here is like you're getting your business known. Yeah. And the best way to do this is, at this moment in time, is still through paid advertising, because you can put in money, you can get your message in front of your ideal prospective clients. You can start, and the best way to do that is not just to throw an ad up. You got to start putting ideas in people's minds. Okay. And
sorry to butt in there, but maybe just explain to people.
Yeah.
Advertising, paid advertising, and organic posting.
This is actually
boosting.
This is a good topic, because we sometimes talk to builders where they go, our Google ads are going really well and we're getting a lot of inquiries. And most of the time, if you look at that, I think that's good to have. However, let's just look at the mindset and the psychology of someone that is searching on Google and then clicking on that ad.
Yeah.
Again, I've got nothing against it. We do run some Google ads for our business.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the disclaimer right here. But if you look at Google ads, when someone searches, I need a builder in XYZ town, that means they are pretty much ready to build. Now, you might be listening as a builder and you're like, yeah, but what's wrong with that? That's what I want.
That's what I want, yeah.
I want people right here, right now. That is true. But one thing you're forgetting is they're looking at 10 other builders. And
they're in a shopping mindset.
Yeah. And what does shopping mindset mean? It's like you looking for something like a computer or something that is the same, like it's the same thing where it doesn't matter where you buy it from.
Yeah.
You can price shop because it's the same thing, but you can't price shop builders. And that's what people in that mindset thinks. They think you can.
Yeah.
So that's the Google side. But where we are focusing, a lot of our time and our money on in terms of investing for our business and also for our clients is through Facebook and Instagram paid advertising. Because this is where you can start planting ideas in people's minds before they even think about building.
Yeah.
And then this is what leads us to the next thing, which is this system. You need to get people's attention, plant ideas, get them over into your system and capture their details so that you can do step number 2 that I just mentioned before. It will automatically educate them.
Yeah.
So that's basically step 3 is getting people's attention and converting them into your system. So you can do step number 3, which is educate. And then step number 4, now that you've got your paid advertising running and it's working, it's getting people into your system, you want to start getting creative. Okay. A lot of people discount this. They go, okay, that's running, I'm all good, done. You shouldn't stop there. And I'm not saying you should invest a whole lot of time in this, but every now and then think in terms of how can I get creative? How can I set myself apart from other builders? How do I not just rely on paid advertising, even though it's the best thing still at this point in time? Yeah. How do I do that? Well, the thing is you need to get creative and you need to start thinking about what can I do? Things like looking for joint venture partners that you can partner up with that's got the same audience as you. So for a lot of builders, that might be architects. If you're not a design and construct business, if you're a design and construct business, like who else? You got to think about it. Like, is it real estate agents? Is it bias agents?
Yeah.
What else? Like,
any stakeholders or contractors that are involved.
Yeah.
Your engineers, your town planners,
so it's about like networking with them.
Yeah.
But then also thinking, how can we do joint venture things together?
Yeah. And
a great example is us. So we're doing all these steps that I just mentioned before. We're spending a lot of money on paid advertising. We're getting a lot of attention, a lot of awareness. A lot of builders are getting to know about us. And then the word got out to Kurt, the builder coach. And for those that don't know, he coaches builders, and he has been, I don't know, for 20 years or whatever. I don't know the exact number now. Yeah. But anyway, he started giving us calls. Like he started calling JP, and then JP's like, no, chat to Corne.
Yeah.
And then finally I got talking to him, and he's like, mate, I love what you guys are doing. I've got like 5 or 10, I can't remember exactly the numbers, 5 or 10 clients that, that have used you guys. They absolutely love what you're doing, the results we're getting and all that. Yeah. And he's like, we should do something together. And then we have done probably 6 in-person workshops with him all over Australia. We've got New Zealand planned. We've got a few more planned for this year. We've done some online kind of stuff. And that's been a great joint venture relationship, partnership, because we're bringing our people, our builders. He's bringing his. Yeah. And we trust him. We know that he really helps builders.
Big time.
And he trusts us because he knows we really help his builder clients. So it's about as a builder, who can you joint venture with? And not just network and go have breakfast with and chat about stuff and chat about the supply issues and all that stuff. Think about how how can you leverage that person and their audience?
Yeah.
So in terms of podcasts like this, workshops.
One thing I'd add there, that leverage is important. Some people have a bad connotation to the word leverage. I'm going to leverage that relationship.
Yeah.
But essentially what we're saying is, if there's someone that has mutual interests, they want to help their clients.
Yeah.
Let's say a town planner or a engineer. They're, and they're working with someone that's their client. They want to look after them.
Yeah.
Of course, they want this project to get legs and be built, and so they want to try and find a builder that they can recommend, that they can trust, that's going to be able to do right by their client.
Yep.
And it makes what they're doing more rewarding if they know that they have a really, really great builder that they can recommend.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at it like that. So you're really helping them, by becoming known by them. By you becoming known by them.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a...
And that's the same with, if we take it back to advertising. If you're a builder and you really believe in your business, you believe in yourself and your team, you believe that you do best by your client, then, we always say this, it's your ethical duty to help those people. Yeah. And to help those people, you need to get their attention. Yeah. You need to educate them.
If they don't know that you exist, even if they want you to help them, they can't.
Yeah. So I guess that brings me to step number 5.
Yeah.
And this is the most important step. I believe that, builders need to, once they've got steps 1, 2, 3, 4 in place, they've got the system running, they need to now obsess over this pipeline. It's known that whatever you obsess about, that's where you will get results. So don't just go, okay, I've got a system running, it's automatically sending out emails and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's great. That's, again, where you leverage technology. But you need to obsess over this pipeline. And it's just one page. Again, one page that's open on your website. And I tell our clients, you have to look at this pipeline every single day, even if it takes you 1 minute. Just quickly scroll through it. Where is it at? Where is it? Okay, cool, done. And then there might be things that you need to do. You're like, okay, well, and it goes back to step 4. How can we get creative? With this pipeline, how can we get creative with follow-up? How can we educate these people even more?
Yeah.
Can we call them? Can we, again, give them other ideas? Hey, I know you told me that you want a dual story. Did you ever consider this? Did you consider this? Did you consider a knockdown? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's about being proactive. And I think, again, it's like all these steps are very proactive.
Yeah.
With the mental model leverage in mind.
Yeah.
But if builders do that, then, the ones that are proactive, that'll make a huge difference to their business. But like, how else can builders get creative with their pipeline?
Oh man, where
do you love selfie videos, and every like, if there's anyone listening to this podcast or watching it, that JP, and he's been in contact with you.
If I've had a conversation with you, then
selfie
there's
video.
a good chance you've probably also received a selfie from me.
Why do you do a selfie video?
A selfie helps the other person feel a lot more comfortable. So definitely,
there's a real person. It's
a real person. It allows me to be really personable as well. So often I might, after a conversation with someone, and they say, "Yep, super keen. And then I say, "Cool, let's onboard you next week."
Yeah.
And I'll get things prepped on our side, and you guys can get prepped on your side. Then there's that week of they're excited, and we don't want to lose contact and only talk to them the next time that week.
Yeah.
So we want to stay front of mind, want to keep their excitement going.
Yeah.
So then, send them a selfie and go, hey, this is the team.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk you around the office and just meet, for interstate clients, they might never come into the studio here. We'll work remotely with them, but meet the team that they're going to be working with. Yeah. You're going to be jumping on Zoom with us a lot, having lots of chats. We want to make sure that this is successful for you.
Yeah.
But get to know us, our space, and let them feel welcome and excited.
Yeah, and it's another interaction, and it's a way for you to educate them just by showing.
Yeah.
Again, like the best way to get someone to trust you is like to show and not just tell. Yeah. So I mean, anyone can say anything, but when you show them, and I know because you go through the office sometimes and you go, hey, say hi to Bob and Jane or whoever. A lot of our clients have incorporated that into their business, so they'll go around their office or wherever they're working from, and they'll go, oh yeah, meet so and so. They specialize in the design. They're going to help you with this, and then go through the whole office, and it's building that relationship.
Yeah. So one that comes to mind is one of our builders who took that on board. That design phase can be quite a long time, and he didn't have a lot of touch points happening during those weeks that they were designing, and so he then would selfie and go, hey, here's so and so. They're busy working on your design and they're loving it, and that person would say, hi Jack, loving the design. It's coming together really nicely. We're actually being able to put all of your must-haves in there.
Yeah.
Can't wait to show you, but still working out some fine things.
Yeah.
It's just a great touch point. It keeps that person excited.
Yeah.
Because you can imagine how many 2 cents worth they're hearing from friends and family that are not experts in the space of building. They've got friends and family and cousins, seconds, sisters that had a bad experience. And if, that's a classic. People, I don't know why they do that, but they feel they need to rain on your parade when you're excited. And so it's important, if that's your prospect, that your client, you need to make sure and take control of that journey with you.
Don't think it's a done deal.
Don't ever think it's a done deal. Yeah.
So we just literally spoke, I think, like 5 minutes on selfie videos. I think that speaks for itself, like why this is so important. Yeah. I think, and everyone I talk to, when I talk to prospective clients or clients, they'll always go, man, I just love JP's selfie videos. So that's there. And I mean, other things, again, like we're just sparking like a few ideas. Like if you're listening to this as a builder, and you've got your pipeline open in front of you and you go, okay, cool. Let's pick 3 people in this pipeline and have something. How can we creatively follow up with them? Yeah. Yes, the system is following up in terms of educating them through like videos and educational content, but what else can we do? How else? So just think in terms of that, like if you're listening to this as a builder.
Corne, can you, for our listeners, just quickly summarize those 5 steps again, please?
Yeah, sure. So step number 1, builders need a CRM tool where they can keep track of their whole sales pipeline. Step number 2, builders need a system that can automatically reach out to those prospective clients depending on where they are at in the sales pipeline, educate them and so on through video and educational content. Step number 3 is builders need to get their company known. And you got to think in terms of 10x, 100x. Get as many people as possible to know about you to really drive that volume into your pipeline. Again, because the system will do all the heavy lifting, it'll educate. Step 4 is builders need to get creative. So think about different ways other than just paid advertising to, joint ventures, partnerships with people, get creative. And then step number 5 is most importantly, builders need to obsess over their sales pipeline. They need to look at it every single day. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening or watching this podcast. I've got 3 things to quickly tell you before you go. I'm going to link 3 different things underneath this video. Number 1 is a recent podcast we did with Tim Waring, and the topic about this podcast is the who, not the how. This is really important for anyone that wants to become really successful in their business. You need to, not think about how you do things, but you've got to think in terms of who's going to do that for you, who's going to do it, how do we get the best person to do that particular thing. Number 2 is download our free guide for builders called How to Stand Out in the Building Industry. The link is below this video. And then number 3, if you are a building business and want to know more about how we can help you, then what I would suggest you do is book a call with JP. He'll run you through the whole offering that we have to offer for our builder clients. And we can really show you how we can help you with this whole pipeline system, marketing and